Yes, yes. Good evening, students. How are you guys? So today, students, as you know, we are going to revise chapter 4, that is audit evidence. We shall briefly touch upon the concepts, and we will also try to discuss few questions which have been uploaded on the portal in your app. So students, this chapter 4 audit evidence is one of the longest chapters in your syllabus, and it also carries quite a good weightage. And besides that, it is also important from practical point of view. So tell me, students, give me answer to this question. What does an auditor basically do during the course of an audit? Say an auditor, a chartered accountant is conducting audit of an entity. So what he is trying to do all the time, whatever he is doing, whatever things, whatever procedures he is performing, these are aimed at getting what? Does anyone reply on your BOS mail? Yes, friends, please reply. Probably 7-8 people are there on Zoom and few maybe on YouTube. Yes, yes, Tejaswin, you are right. Obtaining sufficient appropriate audit evidence. So the auditor at all times during the audit is trying to obtain audit evidence, is trying to get audit evidence. Now, why obtaining audit evidence is important for him? Tell me this. Why obtaining audit evidence is important for an auditor? Yes, quickly, guys. Very simple, basic things. Reply on mails. Students, do not send responses in Zoom chat box. Please open your laptops or wherever you have downloaded BOS app. Give me responses on the mail. Yes. Why it is important for him to get and obtain audit evidence? Anyone? Yes, students, quick, fast. So because it is due to the reason, it is because it would be on the basis of audit evidence that he would be drawing conclusions. And it would be, and it is on the basis of these conclusions that he is going to form his opinion, which is to be reflected in the audit report, which is the main outcome of an audit process. Yes, Tejaswin. So I think there are more students apart from the Tejaswin. Do reply. Yes, Ritvik. You are stating to obtain the audit report. Yes, so try to understand this basic sequence of events. So what the auditor does during the course of audit, the method he employs, these are known as audit procedures. So by performing audit procedures, he gets audit evidence. So on the basis of audit evidence, he draws conclusions. Okay, like whether there is misstatement or not, whether there is some error or not, whether there is some fraud or not. And on the basis of conclusion, he provides his opinion, which is reflected in audit report, which is the outcome of the audit process. Clear? So therefore, you understand that audit evidence is very important from the point of view of auditor. Okay. So there is a separate essay relating to audit evidence. The name of essay is Essay 500. Yes, Harshit. So the name of essay is Essay 500. So I think every time new guys are coming, or you were still there, Ritvik, Harshit, in past 2 sessions, you have not responded. So Essay 500 relates to audit evidence. So in this chapter, you have studied many other essays also. So we shall briefly, what I'll be doing, writing their numbers. So tell me what these essays are all about, so that these get refreshed up in your mind. So one essay is Essay 501. Now write in your mails what this essay is about. What is its heading? Essay 505. So Harshit, you are a newcomer. It means you have not attended the routine classes. So if you are a newcomer, I would suggest to attend the routine classes. These are revisionary classes. These are for the students who have already done the course. Okay, like this chapter, audit evidence. This chapter would be covered in about 6-7 sessions in routine classes, but while revising, we are doing it in one session only. Yes. Essay 510, Essay 520, Essay 550, 530, Essay 550, Essay 610. Yes. Yes. 501 is audit evidence consideration of selected items, specified items. Essay 505 relates to external confirmation. Yes, Miss Mansoori, you are right. Essay 510 relates to initial audit engagements, opening balances. Essay 520 relates to analytical procedures. Essay 530 relates to audit sampling. Essay 550 relates to related parties. And Essay 610 relates to using work of internal auditor. So it's a fairly long chapter, as you can see. So there are about 8 standards on auditing in this very chapter. Okay, so it is quite voluminous chapter. Yes, all of you are writing correctly. Harshit, Tejaswin, Miss Aks Banu, all of you are stating correctly. So students, as far as audit evidence is concerned, so what do you understand by audit evidence? What is its meaning as per Essay 500? Quickly. Yes, Harshit, whatever doubt you have. You can send your query on the mail. Yes. So what is the meaning of audit evidence as per SA 500? Quickly, students, what is the meaning of SA 500? What is the meaning of audit evidence as per SA 500? So audit evidence, again, what I was telling you, audit evidence is basically information which is used by the auditor to draw conclusions on the basis of which opinion is made by the auditor. So like say during the course of audit, you are checking purchase bill with the books of accounts. You are going through books of accounts. You are going through various ledger accounts. You have sent external confirmation requests to which um, responses have been given by the respective parties, say trade receivables or trade payables. So, or you are attending physical inventory count in respect of inventories. So, what is the aim of all these procedures? Now, these procedures are aimed at getting audit evidence. Here, so audit evidence, students, as you know, it is information contained in accounting records. It relates to accounting information and also to information contained in non-accounting records, other records. Like say accounting records, everybody knows books of accounts, purchase bills, stock records. These are all examples of accounting records. Like suppose internal control manuals. These are examples of non-accounting records. Or you can say minute books. So these also give information. So information from any of the records, be it accounting record or any other record, it falls within the meaning of um, audit evidence. Clear? So audit evidence, students, as you know, it may be internal or it may be external. So what is the meaning of internal audit evidence? So and how does it differ from external audit evidence? So the audit evidence which originates from within the client, the source of which is the entity itself, it is the internal audit evidence. So an evidence which is coming from outside is called external audit evidence. Now tell me, you are auditing the financial statements of an entity. The entity has purchased some goods from third parties. You are verifying purchase invoices. You are watching these purchase invoices with entries in books of accounts in purchase account. Okay. So tell me the purchase invoice, whether it is an example of internal audit evidence or external audit evidence. Yes. No, Harshit, you don't have to fear. I'll explain to you at the end. Please, when Zoom query link is, when we unmute, so please raise your hand then. At the end, I'll tell you. You do not have to fear from this subject. It is very easy, properly you, provided you adopt right methods. Yes, Harshit, you are writing correctly. It is external audit evidence. Because source of it is from outside the entity. Clear? And tell me sales invoice. So you are also checking sales of the entity. Tell me sales invoice, whether it is an internal evidence, audit evidence or external audit evidence. Yes. Yes, anyone? Yes. Harshit has written, oh sorry, Tejaswin has written something. Tejaswin, how you are writing sales invoice is an internal audit evidence? Sorry, okay, you are writing correctly. Sales invoice is internal audit evidence. Yes. Yes, because it is issued by the internal staff. Yes, right. So you clearly understand the difference between internal audit evidence and external audit evidence. Now, which of these two is more reliable? Tell me, internal versus external. Which of these two is more reliable? Yes, external is more reliable. But does it mean that we do not have to rely upon internal audit evidence? And what sort of evidence the auditor usually gets, internal or external? Yes, 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 students, tell me quickly. Yes, most of the audit evidence which the auditor gets is internal in nature. So it is not that we do not have to rely upon internal audit evidence. It has to be relied upon. However, while comparing internal with external, the question is of degree, because external is coming, its source is from outside the entity. So obviously it is more reliable. However, it may not always be reliable. If the auditor has any doubts, then he can inquire into it also. Clear? So audit evidence can also be in documentary form. It can be in oral form, visual form, like okay, like auditor is making inquiries. Sometimes he is making oral inquiries. So all the responses he is getting, all the information he is getting from the staff, from the personnel of the entity. Okay, this may be in the nature of oral evidence. So students, as far as audit procedures are concerned, you know already that audit procedures are divided into risk assessment procedures and further procedures. And further procedures are again divided into tests of controls and substantive procedures. And substantive procedures are again divided into tests of details and analytical procedures. And tests of details are divided into test of transactions and tests of balances. So I think you already know the difference between all these. Now, tell me what is the basic purpose of substantive procedures? Yes. Tell me what is the basic purpose of substantive procedures? So I am covering the general material relating to SA 500 because I think that you should not have any confusion about these basic things. Then we are going quickly to shift to questions. Yes, yes, Tejaswin. To identify no, you are right. You are stating to identify the risk of material misstatements at assertion level. No, these become risk assessment procedures. Substantive procedures, in fact, detect misstatements at assertion level. They find out the errors or frauds or mistakes, whatever you can say. Like you are verifying a purchase bill and you see whether it is correctly posted in the ledger or not. So if there is a difference, so you have found a misstatement. So it is a substantive procedure. Whereas in risk assessment procedures, the auditor sees, he just identifies risk of material misstatements and evaluates that risk and assesses that risk. Okay, Tejaswin, it's fine. So clearly understand the difference between risk assessment procedures and substantive procedures. Okay, so quickly, students, different type of procedures, inspection, observation, external confirmations, analytical procedures, inquiry, recalculation, and reperformance. This you have all read in your module. So the meaning of these procedures, students, should be clear to you. Like say, you are attending physical inventory count of a company as at year end, and you are seeing how the counting is being done by the company staff. So what you are doing? Yes, so what you are doing, students? You are just seeing at what is happening, what procedures are being followed by the staff. You yourself are not doing anything. You are just seeing how the supervisor is giving instructions. Yes, Harshit, Tejaswin, yes, you are right. So you are observing. So this procedure is known as observation. Okay. So re-performance means, say some control has been instituted by the management of the company, and you again say perform that control. You re-perform. Recalculation means checking the calculation only, arithmetical calculation, whether it is correct or not. So these you have already studied. So one more, students, term which comes in auditing, which many students I feel even up to final stage, even up to final exams, they are not clear about this term. This term is assertions. So tell me, students, what do we mean by assertions? What do we mean by assertions? Quickly. What do we mean by assertions? So as far as textbook definition is concerned, assertions are representations by management. They may be explicit or otherwise, and which are used by these are representation by the management which are contained in financial statements, which are embodied in financial statements. They may be explicit or otherwise, and these are used by the auditor to identify potential misstatements in the financial statements. Okay. So everything you see in the financial statements in balance sheet is an assertion of one kind or another. So like say if you see profit and loss account, so sales head is appearing. So it means that management is asserting about sales. So if the management is saying, if the P&L account is saying that sales are 50 crores, so it means that management is asserting, that management is saying with full strength that we are saying that our sales are 50 crores and this figure is correct. Okay. Similarly, say in PPE, building is coming. So it means that building which is reflected, it in fact exists and it has been recorded at historical cost, and it is being productively used for the business of the company or the entity, which is a sort of implicit assertion. So assertion basically is derived from the word to assert, to state with some strong belief. So be clear. So everything which is stated in your balance sheet, profit and loss account, disclosures, these are all assertions. So the auditor during the course of audit, he is testing assertions. He is doing nothing else. He is testing assertions. He performs various tests. Okay. Is that clear? Yes. So this was a student's overview of some general terms which uh, I think are quite important, and so their understanding is needed. So see this question. While conducting audit of one company, the statutory auditors collected written representations from the management. Okay, written representations, you know that management is giving them. Okay, the audit was finalized in addition to other procedures, but without making an inquiries. In light of this information, elaborate inquiry as one of methods of collecting audit evidence. So here you have to write about inquiries, about the meaning of inquiries, about their usefulness. So how useful it is as an audit evidence. Okay, you have to write 4 or 5 lines, 1 2 paras about it. So how so Harshit, now I am also trying to answer you. So like this question comes in your paper. So if you do not remember the meaning of inquiry, the definition of inquiry, so you would not be able to explain it in examination conditions. Okay. So first of all, you have to write that what does inquiry mean? Inquiry consists of seeking information from knowledgeable persons. both financial and non-financial, within the entity or outside the entity. Inquiry is used extensively throughout the audit. So obviously, Harshit, you can't make this line out of your own in examination conditions. You have to read it twice, thrice, so that it gets embedded in your mind. You have to remember it. And you have to write that inquiries may be oral or formal inquiries, written inquiries. So why inquiry is important? Because on the basis of responses received um, from the persons to whom inquiries were made, the auditor may get certain information on the basis of which he may determine his audit procedures. Clear? So simple things. So remember one thing, students, that this whole your syllabus is majorly derived from standards on auditing, so which are written in a technical language. So obviously you would have to use quite a good number of words from that pool of technical language. These are the key words which you have to write in your exams. Because why? Because these simply can't be replaced. It doesn't mean that you have to cram up the things, but you have to write a proper word, proper term, technical term, which is there used in technical standards, which is there used in professional standards. It can't be replaced. Its meaning would get vitiated. Yeah. So see question number 2. CAT, statutory auditor of a company, is in the process of designing external confirmation requests to be sent to the trade receivables outstanding as of 31st March 24. So you know that auditor sends external confirmation requests to the, say, trade receivables or to the trade payables or to other persons, and he gets direct response from those parties, okay, which forms the basis of audit evidence. So as properly designed confirmation requests are essential to ensure reliability and effectiveness of audit evidence obtained. Explain why designing a proper confirmation request is necessary and discuss the key factors. Now the question is asking from you just that why designing confirmation request is necessary. Now tell me in simple language, write one line. Why proper confirmation request designing is necessary? Now forget about your book. Just write in one simple language, plain common sense, plain logic. Yes. Yes, anyone? Yes, Harshit. Why designing a proper confirmation request? So what does design means? You are designing a letter. Yes, Harshit, you are writing it increases interest or responding parties. So the basic purpose is that the request is understood in the right perspective. So what information the auditor is asking, that should be conveyed to the responding parties in clear terms. Okay. So it would increase the response rate also. If the if the confirmation request is properly designed, it is clear, there is no confusion, there is no ambiguity in it, then the third party to whom the request has been sent, it would also, chances would increase that it would reply, and the response would also be proper. Okay, so this is written here. So factors to be considered when designing confirmation requests. Now the assertion being addressed, what does it mean? It means what you are, for which balance you are sending the confirmation request, whether that party is your debtor or whether that party is your creditor, whether you are asking about sales transaction or purchase transaction. Specified identified risk of material misstatements. So obviously you would see whether the probability of material misstatement is there or not, whether there is a fraud risk factor or not. The layout and presentation of confirmation request, general thing that it should be readable, it should be in proper form as letters are sent, prior experience on audit or similar engagements. So in the past, if you have received the responses, whether the party had given responses or whether the same party had given response or not. So these type of things. The method of communication, that is another important. Now, whether you would be sending letters, say by speed post, or whether you would be sending confirmation request on mails, how you are going to send this, all these factors have to be decided. Clear? So again, say if out of these 5-7 points, if you know what is the relevant requirement of the question and in the examination condition, so suppose you go blank, you do not you fail to recall any relevant points, say, but if you take a deep breath and even think for few seconds and see what the question is asking, what are the factors to be considered for designing confirmation requests. So obviously you would be able to write at least 2-3 of these factors. Yes, clear guys? Yes, see question number 3. See, read this question. First read this question, then we will discuss. So one auditor of a company, he wants to send confirmation requests to trade receivables, but the management is not allowing him. So what he should do? So the question is basically this. Yes. So what should be done by the auditor in this situation? It is there in SA 505. Yes, Ms. Mansoori, you are writing some other procedures. But first of all, what you are going to do? What would be your first step? See, everything has got a logic. So if you have to go by logic and try to remember all these steps. Yes, Harshit. You are right. Valid reason to support for such denial. So first of all, the auditor would inquire why the management is refusing. It may be possible that there is some proper reason that management's refusal might be reasonable due to some business reason. There could be some emergent situation. Okay. So if the auditor finds that the request is management denial is reasonable, then he would see that what alternative procedures can be performed to obtain sufficient appropriate audit evidence. Obviously, he cannot uh, just do away with obtaining of sufficient appropriate audit evidence. This he has to obtain. So he would try to obtain it by means of other procedures. However, if he thinks that management's request is unreasonable, management is just making lame excuses, then obviously he would see that how it is going to affect his procedures and how his procedures need to be modified, and ultimately he would also see what are the implications for his opinion in the auditor's report. Okay, because by doing so, the management is imposing a sort of limitation on his work. Clear, students? Yes, see question number 4. See question number 4, students. There is one auditor who has assessed the potential risk of material misstatements related to litigations. Okay. She has sent a general letter of inquiry to the company's external legal counsel seeking clarification. However, the external legal counsel has informed her that they cannot reply to her letter due to professional reasons, because general inquiries are prohibited. So, guide CA Kavita, what other option is available to her? Yes, she is trying to communicate with the external legal counsel, but the external legal counsel has not responded to general letter of inquiry. So there is another letter which is stated in standard on auditing, which she has to send. What is the name of that letter? Yes. Yes, anyone? Quickly, students. Nobody. So there is a letter of specific inquiry. So she can send that letter, and the specific letter of inquiry includes all the list of litigation and claims and the management's assessment, what the management think is the possible outcome of these claims and its financial implications. Okay, and a request a specific request to the external legal counsel to confirm the reasonableness of the management's assessment, that whether management's assessment in respect of probable outcome of litigation or claims is proper or not. Okay. So this is contained in SA 501. SA 501 in audit considerations. So SA 501 deals with three things, students, as you know: inventories, litigations or claims involving the entity, and segment information. Okay, so this part relates to litigations or claims involving the entity. Clear? See next question. Now this question relates to sampling. See this question. CA Shubham, the auditor of Sigma Limited, is performing tests of controls and tests of details using audit sampling. So as you know, deviation is a term used in context of control, and misstatement is a term used in context of tests of details. Okay. So some deviations were observed and certain misstatements were also identified in a sample related to the same nature of transactions in sales transactions. How should he proceed to analyze the nature and cause of deviations and misstatements observed in sample results? Okay. Then what he has to do is, in analyzing the deviations and misstatements, the auditor may observe that they may have a common feature, because say like in this case, deviations and misstatements both relate to sales, or they may relate to same product line or same period of time. Okay, so there in such cases there may be risk of fraud, there may be possibility of fraud. So the auditor would investigate all such deviations and misstatements and evaluate their possible effect on audit procedures. Clear? Yes, see question number 6. It is again a total theory-based question. The reliability of audit evidence depends upon its source. We have discussed about audit evidence, its nature and circumstances under which it is obtained. Okay. So although few exceptions may exist, few generalizations can be made about reliability of audit evidence. Discuss which are these generalizations. So which generalizations can be made about reliability of audit evidence? Now it is asking about reliability of audit evidence. Which general things can be said about reliability of audit evidence? Like that when audit evidence is obtained from a source outside the entity, it is more reliable. When the audit evidence is obtained from the by the auditor himself, then it is more reliable than say by just by means of inquiry. Say when he performs something, then that act is more reliable, in fact, of just an inquiry. Okay, so if the controls are operating satisfactorily, then reliability of audit evidence is also increased, because then the auditor knows that the controls are operating effectively. So there is a likelihood that they would be able to prevent and detect material misstatements. Clear? Audit evidence obtained in documentary form is more reliable than audit evidence obtained orally in documentary form or in electronic form. Audit evidence which is contained in the original documents is more reliable then say photocopies. Clear? So these kind of things. See this question. This is also about sampling. During the audit of a company, CAZ is using a software to select samples pertaining to sale records of the company. Now CAZ is trying to obtain a sample in respect of sales. So he is using a software. So many tools are available in the market in the form of off-the-shelf packages, software packages, which help in obtaining samples. Okay. So while performing this process, a window opens in software, prompting the user to enter certain information. So CAZ is in the process of entering this information in this regard. So number of records to select 100. So 1 to 1000. So the records number 1 to 1000 and number of records is 100. So what is selection intervals? So selection interval is 1000 divided by 100. Okay. So it is 10. Selection interval or sampling interval, whatever you can say. So additionally, partner of CAZ suggested him to select first 200 sales invoices from the sales book. Now, which type of method of sampling he is using? Now, this is a kind of block sampling. First 200 sales invoice. It means selecting contiguous items. Okay. So there are two parts in this question. Now, this second question number 8, it relates to analytical procedures. Essay 520. CAM is auditor of a company. He has planned to use substantive analytical procedures during the course of audit. In this regard, he has decided to use such procedures in the following areas. Number 1, for testing relationship between sales and cost of sales, for testing rights over certain assets forming part of account balances. Comment upon his approach along with reasons. Now, what you are going to write, students, just you have to write two lines. That's all. So in CA exams, I have been stressing all that you do not have to fill pages. You have just to write 1, 2, 3 paras. It would be normally less than a page. If you are writing relevant right material, you would be getting full marks. So he is using substantive analytical procedures for testing relationship between sales and cost of sales. Is this approach proper? And in second part, he is using substantive analytical procedures for testing rights over certain assets forming part of account balances. So what are account balances? Account balances like maybe trade receivables, these may be inventories, these may be PP items. Yes. Yes, come on, students. Yes, guys, come on. Anyone? Yes, Tejaswin, Harshit. So, students, as you know, that substantive analytical procedures are more suitable to profit and loss items, which are repetitive in nature. And so this approach is proper for testing relationship between sales and cost of sales, and the relationship between two sales and cost of sales is also predictable. So substantive analytical procedures are one of the right procedures in this situation. But for testing rights, rights means like say ownership rights. So how the analytical procedures are going to be of much use in such a situation? So these are less used. These are uh, in cases of rights and obligations. Okay. See question number 9. There is a company which is in petrochemical business. The company has hired a reputed firm of chartered engineers. Chartered engineers means engineers who work. Um, the company has hired them. They provide the services, and company would be making payment to them. Okay, to determine the quantity and valuation of inventories for preparation of financial statements. So, because the petrochemical business is quite technical in nature, and the determination of inventory, proper determination of inventory, and its valuation uh, could be a very cumbersome task. So the auditor of Expert Industries Limited want to use the same as audit evidence. Now he has given some report. Now first of all, tell me who is this person? PKOR Associates. What we call such a person? He is management's expert. So an expert in a field other than accounting and auditing, whose services are used by the management to in preparation of financial statements, but he should be from a field other than accounting and auditing. Okay. So what aspects should be considered, should be taken care of by the auditor? So obviously, the auditor wants to rely upon the report of management's expert. Then he has to see that uh, whether the expert is a competent person, whether he has no conflict of interest involved, what is his capability, whether he is objective, whether whether he acts on the directions of the management. So what type of work he has performed, say what is his experience, what is its standing. Okay, so all these things would be gone through by the auditor. These aspects would be taken care of by the auditor. Clear? Yes, see question number 10. CAX is contemplating the use of negative confirmation requests as sole substantive audit procedure to verify certain accounts payable balance reflected in financial statements of company. First of all, tell me what are positive confirmation requests, what are negative confirmation requests? Yes, can anybody tell me? SA 505. What is the meaning of positive confirmation request and what is the meaning of negative confirmation request? Yes, come on, guys. As per SA 505, what is the difference between the two? Yes, Tejaswin, Harshit, Miss Mansoori, Miss P. Yamini, anyone? What do we mean by positive confirmation request and what do we mean by negative confirmation request as per SA 505? Yes, students, waiting for your responses. Students, again, if you don't reply, then there is no meaning of these revisionary classes. The purpose is to refreshen up your memories and so that you get familiar with the concepts which you have learned. Yes, Harshit, you are writing positive is for responding to confirmation, either agreeing or not. Yes, right. And negative is party has to respond when there is deviation in the information. Yes, when in negative confirmation means when the party disagrees with the information provided with the information provided. So there are certain conditions under when which negative confirmation requests are to be used. Okay. So yes, Aksvanu, you are right. Negative, positive confirmation requests are to be replied, but in case of negative confirmation, if the party agrees, reply. If it disagrees, then it only needs to reply. So there are certain conditions stated in SA 505 which have to be met before sending negative confirmation requests. So in these circumstances, there are 4 points like the auditor has assessed risk of material misstatement to be low. In such cases, negative confirmation requests are to be sent. So the persons, the population to whom negative confirmation requests are to be sent, these are relatively small, large number of small balances, homogeneous balances. Homogeneous means similar balances or transactions, large number of small balances. Okay. A very low exception rate is expected. It means that the chances that there is disagreement between the request sent and response to be obtained is very low. Okay. So these are some of the factors which have to be considered by the auditor before sending negative confirmation requests. If these conditions are there, only then negative confirmation requests are to be sent. CAX is of the view that negative confirmation provides same level of persuasive evidence as in case of positive confirmation. No, he is not correct. These do not provide same level of persuasive audit evidence. Positive confirmation requests more comfort to the auditor because in negative confirmation request, the responding party is to reply only when there is a disagreement. So they may simply overlook and do not reply. Okay. So therefore, view of Mr. X is not correct. Yes, this question is about related parties, SA 550. So you already know, students, related parties. So the elaborate definition is there in the module. So related parties like the concerns under the same management, when the ownership is same, say when the directors are common, okay, or say these kind of so transactions between these kind of entities. So are all my question to you is are all transactions with related parties are bad? It these should not be entered into. Tell me. Are these transactions always to be frowned upon? These do not have to be entered into. No, this is not the case. But the point is, since this is a fraud prone area, um, so due care has to be taken by the auditor while verifying, while checking transactions with the related parties. So this is the basic point which you have to understand, because these transactions may be entered into without actual transactions being happening. Say if two companies are there in which management is common, so only paper sales may be made without without actually movement of goods. Okay. So the auditor has to be alert about misstatements in transactions with financial statements. Okay. So the question is asking from you examples of the records that may provide information about related party transactions. So he is just asking from you, how would you know that a party is a related party or not? So how you are going to know? First of all, management is going to tell these things are required to be disclosed in the financial statements. But auditor can also, he has to be alert that there could be some areas, there could be some transactions which have not been disclosed by the management with related parties, because the management has not disclosed its exact nature of relationship with the with those related parties. So the auditor can obtain such information from lot of sources like companies' income tax returns. Okay, information supplied by the company to the regulatory authorities like to SEBI. Shareholders registered to know who are the principal shareholders. Okay, and uh, certain contracts and agreements with key management or those charged with the governance, like with directors or those who are key managerial persons. Internal auditors reports. So these are the all the yes, Harshit, you are right. You have to see whether these transactions at arm's length or not. See question number 12. This question relates to again to attendance at physical inventory count SA 501. Attendance at physical inventory count. Read this question. Yes, Gold Limited supplies Navy uniforms across the country. The company has 5 warehouses at different locations throughout the India and 4 warehouses at the border. So 5 houses are in the mainland and 4 warehouses are at the remote locations near the borders. So major stocks are generally supplied from the borders. Okay. So Board Limited appointed one audit firm to conduct its audit for year so and so. Mr. P partner attended all physical inventory counting conducted at the mainland, but could not attend the same at borders due to unavoidable reason. Because it may not be practical to go at the border location. You are required to advise how sufficient appropriate audit evidence regarding existence and condition of inventory be obtained. How is an auditor supposed to deal when attendance at physical inventory counting is impracticable? Now, students, this is a straight answer which is written in your module, which is there in the requirements of SA 501. So the auditor has to attend physical inventory count as per SA 501 unless it is impracticable. So attending physical inventory count at border locations may be impracticable for the auditor due to his safety. Okay. So then in such situations, the auditor has to perform alternative procedures. Okay. Like verifying records, inventory records, and reconciling it with other things to obtain sufficient appropriate audit evidence. However, if he is not able to obtain sufficient appropriate audit evidence, then he would see what are the implications for the auditor's report. Then he can modify the opinion. Okay. So in some cases, attendance at physical inventory count may be impracticable. In cases where attendance is impracticable, alternative audit procedures need to be performed. Okay, like the items which the the company, the entity is showing as at the end of the year, whether these have been sold subsequently. So if these have been sold, so it means in fact these existed if there are no further purchases during the next financial year. And one more thing you have to remember, students, that the matter of general inconvenience to the auditor is not a requirement for the auditor to skip physical inventory counting. Say if there is a little bit difficult for the auditor to go to that place, so he cannot say that his attendance at physical inventory count is impracticable. Say for example, an auditor is sitting in Delhi and he has to go to say some hilly area. He has to go to Shillong, say, for attendance at the inventory count. So he can't say that it is too far off, I can't go there. So then that it is impracticable. No, it is not impracticable. So the matter of general inconvenience to the auditor is not sufficient to support a decision by the auditor that attendance is impracticable. Clear? Yes, is this point clear, students? This is an important point. Now, this question is about audit procedure, students. So 5 situations are given. You have to identify which audit procedure is being performed. Simple, very simple. Yes, quickly. While verifying the fixed assets, the auditor examined factory equipment and verified the presence of each item. Which procedure is being performed? He has just seen that this item is present. She has examined the asset. Yes. First point. Yes, students. Clear? Come on quickly, students. What is the type of audit procedures? We have just gone through these audit procedures: analytical procedures, observation, inspection, inquiry, recalculation, reperformance. Which out of this is this procedure? Yes. Yes. Inspection. Yes, you are writing correctly. And second is to verify company's accounts receivable. She directly sends balance confirmation to some of customers. Yes, Harshit, correct. External confirmation. That is right. CA Rimi examined purchase invoices, contracts, records to assess validity of payment and approval processes. Purchase invoices, she is going through purchase bills, and record of authorization. The person who gave approval she is examining their record. Okay, so what she is doing? Number 3. Yes, yes, quickly. And 3, 4, 5, write all of these. 3, 4, 5, write answers to all of these. Three, four, five. Yes, students, come on quickly, quickly. Yes. So Harshit and Miss Mansoori, you are giving the answers. So fourth and fifth, you are right. But third, how you are writing analytical procedures? This is plain inspection. She is just verifying the purchase invoices and contracts. It means she is reading the contracts, she is going through contracts, she is going through invoices, and she is going through the records which show that approval was given for the payments. This is not an analytical procedure. Analytical procedure, by its very definition, establishes relationship between two items. Like like there is a relationship between gross profit and sales, between net profit and sales, between current assets and current liabilities, or comparing purchases of 1 year with previous years. So this is a plain example of inspection. Inspection by its definition means examination of records or examination of an asset. Yes, is it clear, Harshit? Recalculation, point 5 is correct. Fourth is also correct, re-performance. Yes, Harshit and Miss Mansoori, is it clear to you? Okay. Question number 14. Plain simple. The auditor is comparing various items of profit and loss account of year under audit with previous financial years. What is the auditor trying to achieve? So obviously the auditor is performing analytical procedures. Okay. So what he is trying to achieve by comparing these items? So by comparison, he can come to know of any fluctuations. He can set up ratios. He can see a trend. If differences are there, then these need to be investigated. It may help him in unearthing some unusual transactions. Simple, same thing. Now see question number 15. Now this is about internal auditor. Use of work of internal auditor SA 610. Now, as you know, students, that where in the company, in the entity, there is an internal audit function. Okay. So the external auditor or the statutory auditor, he can make use of this internal audit function. So he can make use of internal audit function in two ways. Number one, he can make use of the work which is already performed by the internal audit department of the company or of the entity, or he can make use of the internal auditor to provide direct assistance. It means that he can use internal auditor to perform certain procedures under the direction, supervision, and review of the statutory auditor, of the external auditor. So SA 610 basically deals with these two things. Okay. So, but before engaging internal auditor to perform to help him by way of direct assistance, CA, the external auditor, is required to obtain certain agreements. He is required to do some things. Now, which are those agreements? This is the question. This is what which is being asked in the question. So first thing he would do is the external auditor would obtain written agreement from the company that you give us in writing that you do not have any problem if we want to use your internal auditor uh, in direct assistance to provide direct assistance to us. And second, he would obtain an agreement from the internal auditor himself that whatever comes to your knowledge, you would keep this matter as confidential. Clear? And there is another part which is being asked in the question, which give examples of procedures in which CA Mukul shall not use internal auditor to provide direct assistance. Now, SA 610 states that direct assistance cannot be used where, say, there is a high risk of material misstatement, or when say um, matter involves evaluation of audit evidence, okay, or when there are significant judgments in the audit and involved. So these are examples of the procedures where external auditor shall not use internal auditor to provide that direct assistance to him. Okay. See question number 16. Again, this is related to SA 501. Attendance at inventories. Say there is a company which is engaged in manufacturing of bicycles. So as part of manufacturing activities, it sends raw material to some business entities and procures finished components from them. So like some components are being procured from other suppliers, but they are not providing finished goods. The company is sending their raw material and they finish it and they prepare the parts and the company is getting those parts. So obviously, at any point of time, some stock would be lying with those persons. Okay, some stock may be in process, some stock may be lying as raw material, or some may be in the form of finished goods. So as you know, this process is called job work. Now the company is getting job work done. It is getting material outsourced. Okay. So as on 31st March, inventories lying with such business entities are material. So how you are going to obtain sufficient appropriate audit evidence regarding existence and condition of inventories lying with such business entities? Say some stocks as at year end is lying with these business entities. Now, whose stock is this? Tell me. This stock belongs to the company whose financial statements you are auditing, because this is the property of the company but lying at a different location. So how you are going to obtain sufficient appropriate audit evidence? Yes. How you are going to obtain sufficient, which procedures you are going to perform to obtain sufficient appropriate audit evidence in respect of inventories lying with these entities, inventories of company of which you are auditor, but these are lying with these entities. Yes, request the certificate from third party. Yes, that's correct. Inspection by performing. Yes, Mansoori, you are also right. So request confirmation from the third parties regarding quantities and condition of inventory held. Perform inspection or other audit procedures like inspecting documents held by third parties regarding inventory, requesting confirmation from other parties. This is also correct. Or relying upon the other auditor's report in this regard. This can also be done. Okay. See question number 17. Now this is about again about SA 505. CA Pari is conducting audit of Heavy Limited, a company with large number of customers, which are generally small-time retail shop owners. While verifying sundry debtors, CA Pari assesses risk of material mistreatment as low and internal control is operating effectively. Now, which type of confirmation request is likely to be sent? Now, tell me which type of confirmation request is likely to be sent by the auditor in such a case? Yes, negative confirmation. Yes, Ms. Mansoori, you are right. And the conditions are the same, which we had done sometime before. Okay. See question number 18. T Limited has appointed an auditor. Since inventory is a material component of financial statement, CAF plans to attend the physical inventory counting. Now he is planning that I am going to attend physical inventory counting. Provide any 5 matters that CAF should consider when planning their attendance. So again, SA 501. Now tell me from your common sense that you have decided that under standards on auditing, you are required to attend physical inventory count, and you have decided that you would attend physical inventory count, say on 29th March, 30th March, and 31st March. 3 days you would be at the plant of the company. So, but uh, before actually going to the site, you are planning. Okay, so what matters you would consider? So few days before, 10-15 days before, you are planning. So what matters you would consider? No, Harshit, you are saying price tags of material are intact or not. This would be seen, this may be seen at the time of actual physical inventory count. What matters you would consider uh, while at the planning stage, you are planning to attend physical inventory count. So what issues would be cropping up in your mind so that your attendance at physical inventory count meets its purpose? Like, first of all, you would see the number of locations at which inventory is lying. So like you are going to city, but the inventory may be at 3-4 places at different godowns. So you need to go to all the godowns or all the workplaces. So you would also try to consider about the internal controls and what the instructions the management has given to the staff regarding physical inventory count process. Say during physical inventory count process, physical count is actually being done by the management. You are attending that physical inventory count and you are seeing how that physical inventory count is being done, and you would do some test checking. Okay, so such matters, you would also assess the risk of material misstatement. You would also uh, uh, keep in mind the nature of inventories, what type of goods are. Okay, So these are the matters like nature of inventory, risk of material misstatements, nature of internal control, stages of completion of work in process, the locations at which inventory is held. Yes, Harshit, is it clear to you? So again, you have to remember these points, friends. Say if you remember once these points which are written in your module, at least some of these you will be able to retain in the under the examination conditions. Even if you are not able to retain, but if you have once read it, you can think logically and you can write. But if you are totally blank, you have never read it, you have never gone through these points, then you won't be able to write. Then you won't be able to even understand the question in the right perspective. So clearly see what is the demand of the question. Now see this question. This is about segment information. Again, SA 501. So when the segment information is required to be disclosed about say different products or say about different geographical locations, then what are the duties, responsibilities of auditors as per SA 501? So obviously you have to see whether these have been disclosed as per applicable financial reporting framework, what are the methods used by the audit by the management to disclose financial information, whether these have been properly followed or not. So these kind of things. Okay. Performing analytical procedures. Clear? See question number 20. So there is one firm of auditors. Okay. So CAM partner in charge of the audit is carrying out audit procedures with his audit team. He trusted CA Ravi, one of the team members, the task of obtaining various audit evidence connected with the audit and submit the same to the engagement partner for finalizing the audit report. How can CAM ensure that evidence collected would be sufficient for the purpose of audit or not? So how you would see that evidence collected by you is sufficient or not? So obviously three factors are there: materiality, risk of material misstatements, and size of population. This have to be explained, and the answer has to be written in the context of it. Okay. So I think students, we shall take a short break for 5 minutes and come back after 5 minutes. Don't go away. Yes, Manish, break for 5 minutes. Yes, welcome back, students. So another question. This is again on essay 610. Use of work of internal auditor. Now read this question carefully, students. PQR and company has been appointed as statutory auditor of one company, MGM Limited. The financial statements of company have material amount outstanding as debtors. Obviously, debtors are there in the financial statements. Aging of debtors is being done by internal auditors and is given by them in their monthly report. So as part of their work, the internal auditors are also making a sort of aging analysis. Anyway, as you know that as at year end, the aging analysis is also to be given by the management in the financial statements in accordance with the requirements of Schedule 3 to the Companies Act. But aging anyway is being done by the internal auditors in their monthly internal audit reports. The issue was discussed with the management. The engagement partner, the CA who is conducting audit, decided to give the age-wise debtors as per report of the internal auditor due to shortage of time. So he copied and pasted the aging which was done by the internal auditor as it is as per as at the year end. So after the audit report was released, the engagement partner realized that disclosure of debtors is misleading and aging was not done by internal auditor on correct principles. As a result of which wrong provisions was made. Clear? So the engagement partner held the internal auditor responsible for this. Is he correct in making statement that internal auditor is responsible for false provisioning? So what considerations should be there for before relying on the work of internal auditor? Two parts. First part is whether the external auditor is right in holding that internal auditor is responsible for false provisioning. Yes, first give me answer to this question. Yes, come on, guys. Yes, Miss Mansuri, Harshit. Nobody else is responding. Yes, Miss Mansuri, you are writing he is responsible. Who is responsible? Internal or external auditor? Who is responsible for false provisioning? Internal auditor or external auditor? No, Miss Mansuri, you are writing internal auditor. You have to understand that opinion on the financial statements is ultimately expressed by the external auditor. He has to see whether he has to rely upon the work of internal auditor or not by test checking some of his work. It is his decision. It does not in any way reduce or diminish external auditor's responsibility. He remains responsible for the opinion expressed by him. Like if he has relied upon some work of internal auditor, so he should have performed adequate procedures. At least he should have checked aging of say 1 month before relying upon the aging. Always remember, students, that ultimate responsibility of opinion expressed by the on the financial statements is of the external auditor, is of the statutory auditor. He cannot skip his responsibility. He cannot abdicate his responsibility that I had relied upon the work of the internal auditor. No. Clear? Is that clear? Yes, Shubham. Is that clear? And before relying upon the work of internal auditor, he has to see what is the competence of internal auditor, what is his organizational status, whether he follows a systematic and disciplined approach. So all these factors have to be considered by him. Then only he can either use the work performed by internal auditor, or he can use him in the form of direct assistance to render direct assistance under his direction, supervision, and review. See question number 22. In an automated environment, there are generally 4 types of audit tests available. So the question is asking about the audit test, means audit procedures which are performed by auditor in an automated environment. Automated environment means which is system driven, where almost all the activities are system driven. Okay, so which are the tests, which are the procedures which are performed by the auditor in an automated environment? Yes. Anyone? Obviously, the tests are same, which are done in the manual environment also. Yes, students. So as you know, inquiry is one of the tests. Inspection is another test. So whatever output is produced by the system, by the automated system, it is inspected, it is examined. Inquiry about controls, inquiry about checks, inquiry about seeking information, and reperformance. One test is reperformance. Okay. Auditor cannot normally, this is about sampling, SA 530. Auditor cannot normally examine all the information available to them, as it would be impracticable to do so. Obviously, he can't check all transactions. Therefore, he resorts to sample checking. He resorts to sampling. So samples should be selected in such a manner that it is representative of the population from which sample is being selected. Which sample selection method is being used in following cases? So tell me which sampling method is used. The 2 situations are given to you. Yes. Situation 1, where trade receivable have been decided in 3 groups. Balances above a certain threshold, balances between 10 and 20 lakhs, balances below 10 lakhs. And second situation is auditor uses a sample of 50 consecutive checks to test whether the checks are signed by authorized signatories. Yes, second is block sampling. First is, what is first? Selection method you are writing. Miss Mansoori, what is the selection method? Obviously, it is stratification. It is stratified sampling, where population is divided into few groups called strata, and it leads to uh, better audit efficiency because attention is paid to high value items. Okay. See question number 24. You are statutory auditor of one company. Looking at huge size of similar transactions, you directed your team members to use statistical sampling. Okay. So one of team members wants to select samples based upon his experience and knowledge. You are required to explain why use of sampling method is statistical sampling is more scientific. So what is the meaning of statistical sampling? You have to write it here. So what is the meaning of statistical sampling? Yes, which are the conditions to be fulfilled for choosing a sample in accordance with statistical sampling? Yes, guys, anyone? Yes, students. Any responses? You have to just write the definition of statistical sampling. That is, in statistical sampling, there is random selection of samples and use of probability theory to evaluate sample results. Yes, sample using and use of probability theory to evaluate sample results. These two conditions are to be met. So if samples are selected using statistical sampling, then better results are obtained because it is scientific and there is no bias. There is no personal bias of the auditor in case of statistical sampling. Yes, see this question. Again, this is about management's expert. Yes. So some provision, gratuity provision has been made in the accounts for which the management has appointed an actuary experts who are experts in such areas in estimating the future liabilities. Like actuaries estimate liabilities, say in case of insurance companies also. Okay, what would be the claim liabilities? So these days, there are many opportunities for actuaries, say in insurance industry, banking industries, and where sort of risk assessment is involved, and it has got financial implications. So, as an auditor of D Limited, you plan to use the report of said expert, okay, for valuation of provisions. So, what would you do to evaluate competence, capabilities, objectivity, and understanding the work of actuary? So, how would you evaluate his competence? How would you evaluate his objectivity? How would you evaluate, how would you assess that his work is useful to you as an auditor? Yes, very simple, common sense. Auditor has to assess many things, isn't it? He has to assess, he has to evaluate, he has to see effect of virtually everything. Yes. Yes, come on, guys, quickly. How would you assess the competence, the objectivity, and understanding of the work of the actuary? So obviously, you would see such consideration whether he is independent, whether he is employee of the company or he is coming from the outside. What is his knowledge? What are his qualification? Whether he is a member of some professional institute. And for gaining understanding, you would see some of the work which he has performed. You would evaluate, you would go through some of his reports. You would see some assumptions and methods used by him, whether these are proper or satisfactory or not. You would see some of the work being done by him in other organizations. What is his professional standing, professional reputation? Yes, Arshit, you are writing correctly. Yes, now see question number 26. During the audit of accounts for year ended so and so, the auditor of one company wanted confirmation from a trade receivable. So the in the books of accounts of the company, the amount was outstanding as 4,25,000. So what did the auditor do? Auditor sent a confirmation request, external confirmation request, because he thought it proper. The amount was outstanding for more than 6 months. The auditor sent a confirmation letter to the party requesting him to respond directly to him, whether or not they agree with the amount. So the question is saying that please respond even if you disagree with us, whether you agree or not. If you agree, even then respond. If you disagree, even then respond. That trade receivable confirmed to the auditor that they were required to pay an amount of 4,20,000. Okay, so they are saying not 425, we are required to pay 420. So state and explain type of confirmation request sent by the auditor and course of action. So two parts. Sometimes it happens in the question that we read very quickly and we just answer one part. So you would get credit of the part you have answered. Say if in this question, state and explain the type of confirmation request. So obviously it is positive confirmation request. So you would write that it is a positive confirmation request. You would explain the meaning of positive confirmation request. That positive confirmation, when auditor positive confirmation request means an external confirmation request sent by the auditor, where the confirming party has to respond whether they agree with the information requested to be confirmed or not. Okay, you would write this. So this is one part. So like this, there may be 1 mark for the identifying right type of confirmation. There may be 1 mark for writing the meaning of the confirmation. And now there is second part and course of action that he should take on the confirmation received from the trade receivables. Now there is a difference in the company's books of accounts. It is 425. The party is saying 420. So what does this mean? There is a deviation, there is an exception. Okay, so you would say, you would write that there is an exception, a response which is different between the information requested in the entity's record and in the information provided. Now what the auditor has to do, he would have to analyze the difference. Okay, and he would see whether it needs to be extrapolated to the whole of population. Clear? He would need to investigate whether some modification to his other procedures is required or not in light of that. So this may be carrying 2 marks. So read the question carefully and answer all parts. Yes, next question. See this question. CA Surya is conducting audit of an entity. During course of audit, she has made oral inquiries from head accountant. She has made oral inquiries from the head accountant regarding preparation of bank reconciliation every month as has been laid down by the management. Now, what she has done, she has asked from the head accountant, look, Mr. Accountant, tell me whether you are preparing bank reconciliations every month or not. Now, discuss whether inquiries as stated above would provide satisfaction to her that controls in respect of preparing bank reconciliation statements have operated it effectively. Now, say the head accountant says, yes, ma'am, we have prepared the bank reconciliations every month. Now, has she obtained sufficient appropriate audit evidence by doing this? Yes, Ms. Mansoori, you are asking to me to explain second part of the question. Say if there is a difference, then the auditor has to analyze the reasons for difference. And in light of the difference, what further modifications are needed? If there is a difference in one account, then whether it needs to be projected to other accounts. There may be differences in other accounts also. It can be a factor. Okay, so this has to be analyzed by her. Yes, Harshit, you are saying no. Yes, you are perfectly right. She has made oral inquiries. So inquiries by itself may be oral or in any other form or written. These do not provide sufficient audit evidence that a material misstatement does not exist. Okay. So she should himself verify that whether like she can inspect the record of bank reconciliations performed. She can inspect the record of a bank reconciliation performed every month by the head accountant. Then she would be satisfied that in fact what the head accountant is saying is indeed correct. Okay. A company has stipulated a control that reconciliation of its records showing quantitative detail of its PPE items are carried out at regular intervals with physical verification of such items. Okay. So the company is maintaining a record like, look, we are carrying out physical verification of PP items, and these are being reconciled with our records, which we are maintaining in respect of PP items. Very good. So the auditor has found that such reconciliation are being carried out as stipulated. Say if it has been fixed by the management that we would do such reconciliation every quarter. So these are being done every quarter. Discuss whether above factor increases reliability of other internally generated audit evidence within the company relating to existence of such items. Now just think over what the question is trying to ask from you. Can anybody tell me what the question is asking from you? And what should be the answer to this question? Yes, guys, come on. So, see, read the question carefully. There is a control which is mandated by the management, which has been instituted by the management, which, according to which, the reconciliation of PP items on physical verification is to be done with its records. Okay, yes, Harshit, you are right. Question is asking about reliability of audit evidence. So if the control is operating, if this control is operating satisfactorily, then does the reliability of other audit evidences, which relates to PP items, which is generated internally, whether it increases or not, if control is operating satisfactorily? This is the question. Yes. What should be the answer? So generally, the reliability of audit evidence generated internally is increased when the controls over such items are effective. It means, say, if the controls are effective, it means the controls are operating satisfactorily. They are able to prevent and detect material misstatements from occurring. So other internally generated evidence relating to this item, obviously, the auditor can place greater reliance on it. Okay. Yes. See question number 29. This relates to internal audit, work of internal audit. So Harshit, yes, you have to take a general view and see what the question is asking. The question is asking whether this factor increases reliability of other internally generated item related to existence of such items. So the question is specifically is asking about when this factor is there. So obviously it is going to increase the reliability. It doesn't mean that it would be totally reliable, but the question is of degree. Yes, see question number 29. Yes, a company has stipulated a control through its software that interest at so much so is to be charged in case of customers who failed to make payment. So if the payments are not coming from the customers in time, then software says interest has to be charged. The control has been instituted, embedded in the software. The internal auditor of the company finds that during a certain period, software has failed to charge interest due to some technical problem. So does reporting of above situation fall in domain of internal auditor's work? Yes, definitely. So one of the functions of internal auditor is, in fact, reviewing controls, evaluating their effectiveness, operation, and recommending improvements. So if the software is not working as planned, okay, so it means that it is not able to prevent and detect material misstatements from occurring. So that is an possibly a misstatement which is causing loss to the company. Okay, so therefore it definitely falls within the domain of reporting of internal audit internal audit work. Now see question number 30. Again on internal audit. So a lot of questions on internal audit. SA 610. Now this is on SA 610. Now CA Sukesh is external auditor of an entity. He comes to know that there is also an internal auditor in the entity. However, he finds that internal auditor is not reporting directly to higher echelons of management. It means high hierarchy. He is reporting to some middle level or employees or middle level functionaries. CA Sukesh has also assessed risk of material misstatement to be high. Discuss whether it would be proper for CA Sukesh to rely upon work of internal auditor. Yes. Tell me what should be the answer. Whether in such circumstances he can rely upon the work of internal auditor. What does SA 610 say about it? Yes. So how you are going to answer in the exams? Just writing one line say your answer is correct, Miss Mansoori. So now we take this process forward. So how you are going to write it in the exams? You have to give the reasons. You have to write 3, 4, 5 lines. So obviously you would write that when the risk of material misstatement is high and the internal auditor is not reporting to the higher echelons of the management, it means that it casts a doubt on his independence. Okay, so then he may not be give an objective report. He may not be reporting objectively, and the due importance is not given to the internal audit function by the entity. So in such a case, it would not be proper for CS Sukesh to rely upon the work of internal auditor. This. Now this is again question on sampling. Sampling and auditor's responsibility. Yes. What should be the answer? Question number 31. As an auditor, while conducting audit of an entity, you have selected samples based upon your experience and knowledge. Later on, it turns out that samples were not representative and selection of samples was faulty. Auditor contends that samples were selected based upon his personal experience and knowledge. Can auditor escape from his responsibility? Yes. Can the auditor escape from his responsibility? Yes, auditor cannot escape from the responsibilities. It is his responsibility to see that samples remain truly representative and proper method is used to select samples. So whether he uses his personal knowledge and experience to select samples, these have to be representative of the population, because by the definition of a sample, as you know, under SA 530, samples have to be representative of the population. Okay. See question number 38. Communication with external lawyer, SA 501. Litigations and claim involving the entity. Yes. The auditor has performed certain procedures, and the procedures performed by him so far indicate that there is a possibility that company has not disclosed all material litigations, that there are certain cases, certain litigation matters which have not been disclosed in the financial statements. So uh, these may have an impact, these may have future impact. So does such a situation warrant direct communication by auditor with the external lawyer of the company? What does SA 501 state about it? Yes, guys. Yes, auditor should communicate with the external lawyer. So SA 501 precisely states with this that if auditor assesses risk of material misstatement or litigation, or some claims have been identified that may exist but which have not been disclosed, so the auditor shall seek direct communication with the company's external legal counsel. Now see question number 33. Read question number 33. CA Jignesh is in midst of audit of a company. Yes, true. Okay. What he is doing? The company is fairly large one and has a well-functioning internal audit department. So this question is a mix of internal audit plus external confirmation. SA 505. So while considering sending out external confirmation request to trade receivables, he has delegated the process of choosing trade receivables, designing requests, and receiving responses from customers to internal audit department. The responses are also received on the mail ID of internal audit department. Is the approach of CA Jignesh proper? Now, how you are going to write? Yes. How you are going to write answer to this question? Yes, Harshit. What is the responsibility of auditor in accordance with SS 505? Let us start with it. Yes, Harshit, you are writing correctly. How did you fail in the exams? Auditor's approach is wrong. He should send external confirmation directly. And it should not be delegated to the internal audit department, because it by definition say if you see the SA 505. So what is external confirmation? External confirmation may be defined as a what? As an audit evidence obtained as a direct written response to the auditor from a third party. It is a direct written response. So here what the auditor is doing? He is delegating the work of drafting confirmation requests. This is being delegated to the internal audit department. Okay, parties are being chosen by him, by the internal auditor, and responses are also received by the internal audit department on their mail ID. So what the external auditor is doing? He can't delegate this work. These fall in his area. He has to see to whom parties, to which parties external confirmation requests are to be sent by considering the risk involved. Clear? So what is the answer? When using external confirmation procedures, the auditor shall maintain control over external confirmation requests, including determining the information to be confirmed. The auditor has to maintain control over it, selecting the confirming party and designing confirmation requests and sending the requests and evaluating it. Responses are also to be evaluated by the external auditor, not by the internal auditor. So all these things are not in line with the SA 505. So therefore, this approach is not proper. Okay, this is an important area, important matter, and the auditor needs to have control over sending external confirmation requests. He has to design it, he has to select samples, and he has to get the response directly. Clear? Yes, question number 24. Again, SA 505. Not sending external confirmation requests. Yes, read the question. We have discussed it already. Similar question we have discussed already. Yes, guys, come on. Yes, Harshit, you are writing yes correctly in accordance with SO 505. So obviously, the auditor would first of all has to inquire reasons for management's refusal to send a confirmation request. So sometimes it may be reasonable, request may be reasonable. Like in this case, there is a dispute going with the trade receivable, and the matter is nearing settlement and out of court settlement. The matter is nearing resolution. So by sending confirmation requests, there may be the relationships may get spoiled, because these are already very delicate and precariously placed. Okay, and he has also assessed that there are no fraud risk factors. So all the conditions which are there in requirements which are stated in SA 505, these are all met. So therefore, unwillingness of CFO is quite justifiable. Clear? Yes. Very simple. An auditor of a company intends to apply analytical procedures for verifying revenue. SA 520. Now, which analytical procedures you would apply for verifying revenue? You want to verify sales, but the question is asking about analytical procedures, like comparing sales of current year under audit with previous years, comparing sales with budgeted targets, making trend analysis. Okay. Income tax payment. What is that, Harshit? You have to write analytical procedures. Yes, so Manish, आप unmute कर दो. Yes, Harshit, you had query at the beginning. So tell me, what is your query that you are not able to write it, answers in the exam? If you want to ask Harshit, you are unmuted on Zoom now. Yes. Yes, Harshit, you want to ask something? Again, I'm asking from you, you want to interact with me, Harshit?
Harshit, do you have any query or doubt? Sir is asking you.
No, ma'am, he is not responding.
I think we can ask one or two questions from them.
Yes. So, so students, Harshit, yes, you are writing, but I couldn't for now. So probably there is some issue with you. It's okay, it's fine. Uh, we respect your viewpoint. Uh, so in case of any problem, you can always write to Board of Studies, and they would be all their faculties would be there to help you out. And any issues would be resolved by them. Okay. So let us revise two more things, students. We have done SA 501 relating to attendance at physical inventory count. So when attending physical inventory count, tell me which procedures, which steps an auditor has to perform. There are 4 things which he has to do. Yes. Yes, students.
Students, you can unmute yourself or answer. or you can raise your hand, else you can write in the chat also.
So you have understood the question. So the very first part from where SA 501 begins, responsibilities of auditor in attending physical inventory count. So he has to attend physical inventory count unless impracticable. But what he would do at the physical inventory count? Yes, yes, Ms. Mansoori. Yes, mails are getting time to be delivered. Yes, anybody? Yes, inspect the inventory. Correct, Ms. Mansoori. What other things he will do? Inspect the inventory is one thing. Perform test counts is another thing. What else? He would also perform test counts. He would test check some things. He is seeing the counting being done in front of him. So he will inspect the inventory to see its condition. He will perform some test counts. And what else he will do? Yes, Ms. Mansoori. So see, students, these are the four things. Attendance at physical inventory count, unless impracticable, the auditor has to do these four things when he attends. Evaluate management's instructions and procedures. First of all thing is, he will do is he would assess that what procedures the management has employed for carrying out physical inventory, physical attendance. Look, the process of physical counting is responsibility of the management. The auditor is a spectator to it, but he is not a mute spectator. He would be making interventions as and when required, but he is basically observing the process which is being carried out by the personnel of the management. So first he has to assess that what sort of instructions have been given by the management, whether these are proper or not. So if the instructions themselves are not proper, then how he would ensure that the counting being performed is satisfactory or not. This is the first step. Second, observe the performance of management's count procedures. So, as I have told you, he would observe the performance of the personnel, management, personnel employees of the company who are performing those procedures. And third is he would be inspecting the inventory. And fourth is performing test counts. So simple and easy to remember. Okay. So one thing is attendance at physical inventory count, and second thing is performing audit procedures over that organization's inventory records to see that they actually tally with the inventory count results, that what is being counted physically, it reconciles, it tallies with the inventory records, with the inventory records of the organization. Yes. Is it clear? Yes, Harshit.
हेलो, नमस्ते सर।
नमस्ते, आप हिंदी में बात कर सकते हो, कोई बात नहीं।
सर मैं कुछ देर पहले नहीं कर पाया था, सेटिंग
कोई
नहीं हो
बात
पा
नहीं,
रही थी
इट
ऑडियो
इट
की।
इज ओके, इट इज परफेक्टली ओके हर्षित, बताइए।
ओके सर, मैं पिछले 3 अटेम्प्ट से मतलब ऑडिटिंग में अच्छा परफॉर्म नहीं कर पा रहा हूँ। अप्रोक्स 30 के आसपास आते हैं, लेकिन आंसर शीट्स ही मंगाई थी तो मैंने एनालाइज नहीं कर पाया था कि मैं कहाँ लैग कर रहा हूँ। तो अभी आपने ऐसे बताया कि राइटिंग प्रैक्टिस नहीं होगी, तो मेरी
राइटिंग
राइटिंग
प्रैक्टिस से
प्रैक्टिस तो
पहले जो
बहुत।
है ना हर्षित, उससे पहले रिमेम्बरिंग बहुत जरूरी है। सबसे पहला चीज है कंसेप्ट की अंडरस्टैंडिंग। जो आप देखो, आप आंसर्स दे रहे हो, मेरे को लगता है कि आपको कंसेप्ट की अंडरस्टैंडिंग तो है, ठीक है। तो या तो आपकी रिमेम्बरेंस
जी
लैकिंग
सर।
है, आप याद नहीं कर पा रहे, आप उस चीज को 2-3 बार पढ़ो। उन जो की वर्ड्स हैं उनको लर्न करो, उनके मीनिंग को लर्न करो, ठीक है, और फिर उनको लिख के देखो।
जी सर।
क्लियर है हर्षित?
यस सर, मैं यही प्रैक्टिस नहीं कर कर रहा था। तो अभी जैसे आपने बताया कि कीवर्ड्स नहीं रिमेम्बर कर पा रहे हैं। जैसे अभी
देखो
आपको
देखिए,
आंसर में दे रहा था, उसमें भी कीवर्ड्स नहीं लिख पा रहा था, मैं बता पा रहा था
जैसे
आपको।
ऑडिटिंग मैंने बताया आपको, ऑडिटिंग में जो सारा मटेरियल है ये स्टैंडर्ड्स ऑन ऑडिटिंग से लिया गया है, जिसमें कि सारी क्योंकि टेक्निकल टर्म्स हैं, ये टेक्निकल एरिया है। मतलब आप आप सपोज आप इंजीनियरिंग सब्जेक्ट पढ़ रहे हो तो उसमें इंजीनियरिंग की टर्म्स आएंगी ना, अकाउंटिंग में अकाउंटिंग की टर्म्स आएंगी, ऑडिटिंग में ऑडिटिंग की टर्म्स आएंगी। तो उनका मतलब जो है आपको उसी लैंग्वेज में लिखना है, उसको क्रैम नहीं करना, लेकिन उसकी इंटेंट तो वही होनी चाहिए। यू कैन मेक योर ऑनलाइंस, बट यू कैन नॉट omit द रिक्वायर्ड वर्ड्स और द रिक्वायर्ड इंटेंशंस। क्लियर है आपको?
यस सर। सर मैं एक रिक्वेस्ट कर सकता हूँ क्या आपसे?
हाँ, बोलिए बोलिए।
सर आप मतलब कांटेक्ट इन्फो मिल सकती, क्योंकि मैं अपनी आंसर शीट्स आपको भेजना चाहता हूँ, और क्या इवेलुएट करना चाहता हूँ मैं कहाँ लैग कर रहा हूँ।
वो
तो
बोर्ड
मुझसे
ऑफ
इससे
स्टडीज में आप
परफॉर्मेंस।
कॉम्पिटेंट फैकल्टीज हैं, उनको दिखा सकते हैं वहां पे। ये बिकॉज वो आर
सर,
गेस्ट फैकल्टीज, वो अलाउड नहीं है। मैम आपको इस बारे में बताएंगी। यस
हाँ,
मैम।
आप अपने अदर टेक्निकल डाउट जो है वो सर से पूछ सकते हैं। आई विल बी एड्रेसिंग फॉर दैट हर्षित।
ओके मैम।
इफ
अगर आपको
एनी अदर डाउट, या
आंसर शीट दिखानी है तो आप बोर्ड ऑफ स्टडीज में आप जाके भी दिखा सकते हैं। ऑल आर वेरी कोऑपरेटिव एंड दे आर देयर टू हेल्प यू।
ओके सर।
ठीक है। यस, एनी अदर डाउट स्टूडेंट्स? एनी अदर क्वेरीज?
सर ये पीडीएफ्स कहाँ मिलेंगी जो क्वेश्चंस प्रैक्टिस वाली हैं?
ये
उसको मैं
आपकी
अच्छी
अपलोड
लगी प्रैक्टिस करूंगा।
अपलोड कर दिए हैं ये, आपकी ऐप में है और पोर्टल पे है। आप अपनी आईडी में जाइए, वहां पे आपको मिल जाएंगी। रिविजनरी क्लासेस में जाइए, वहां पे मिल जाएंगी आप।
सर अभी मैं गया तो उसमें तो सिर्फ चैप्टर 3 का था सर, मटेरियल
नहीं,
अपलोड
ये
हुआ था।
चैप्टर 4 का भी हो गया है।
ठीक से मैं देख चेक कर लूंगा इन केस मैं मिस
ठीक
कर लिया हूँ।
ठीक। Okay, students. So we have revised students chapter 4 audit evidence in a quick manner and tried to cover the different concepts through questions. And I have also explained to you few concepts, few important concepts, which are which were quite basic and fundamental to understand the this chapter and subject of auditing also. I hope you would have found it useful. So we'll again meet it day after tomorrow, students, to discuss another chapter, another important chapter, that is chapter 5, audit of items of financial statements. Okay, so that's over for today.
yeah.
Yes,
थैंक यू सर।
So thank you,
yes,
Ashish
ma'am.
sir. Good
Okay,
evening,
thank you, ma'am.
students. As you are aware that we are
गुड
having
इवनिंग मैम।
11
थैंक
chapters
यू।
and all are subdivided, like if we see section wise weightage now, our syllabus is divided into 9 sections. So we have covered our section 1, 2, 3 and 4. Of course, in 4, one more chapter is there, audit documentation. And you are aware that this time we are trying a new concept, like to learn the concept with the help of practice of the questions, right? So with the help of questions, you are learning the concept also, right? So I hope you are preparing simultaneously as we are moving towards September and are approaching to the examination. Hardly we are having 45 days, right? So we are not having 45 days for auditing subject if we see technically. So we need to plan and prepare in such a manner that we can effectively utilize the time. Even a single day should not be wasted, right? And sir is sharing the tips also that you must have written practice rather than doing rote learning. You need to understand the concept, but with the same, you should also learn some technical terms, required words, which are very much essential for your answer, right? So when you are writing in the examination, those technical terms should be definitely used. Okay. So it's for that it is very essential to have written practice. Now, Harshit, I'm coming to your query, and I think it's not only your query, it's query of many students. So that what we have written and where we are lacking, how to check that. For that, of course, you can talk to us. Our number is 0120 3045925. Rather, you can use BOS mobile app, ask your query feature, and you can talk to us regarding the same. Now, after writing the answer, you need to technically, critically evaluate the answer. That was what was the correct answer for that particular question which you are writing, and whether we have written the required and relevant answer in the that required and relevant answer is there in our answer, right? So you need to evaluate where we are lacking, whether we have learned, but when we are writing the answer, we are able to write the same or we are missing some pointers. So we need to check, we need to evaluate, and we need to work on the same. One more important fact which I want to mention to all of you, dear students, that for 4 marks question or for 3 marks question or for 5 marks question, if the question is knowledge and comprehension based, then you need to write complete points. Now, complete point means like when you are preparing your own notes, you are subdividing one point into maybe 2 or 3 subpoints. You have broken one point into 3 pointers or 4 pointers for your ease or for your convenience. But when you are writing in the examination, because you are already told that 4 marks question, you need to write 4 pointers. Or for 3 marks question, you need to write 3 pointers. If the pointers are small, then you need to give. If the pointers are small, then you need to give right. Then you need to write 2 or more than 2, right? So we need to ensure that the pointers, like for the one question, one full complete pointer is required. So for 4 marks, if you are writing as per your notes, like for 4 marks, you need to write 4 pointers and you have written 3 pointers which you have made in your notes for the 1 point. Then technically you are attending only 1.25 marks paper. Out of 4, you are writing only 1.25 marks. So please, you need to technically evaluate that whether you are writing the required and relevant answer, quality and quantity. I think sir explained you for this essay 500 series. These are very important terms, that relevant and required, quality and quantity, right? So you need to technically evaluate whether you are writing the required answer. Harshit, if you are evaluating your answer, and critically you need to see where you are lacking and where you need to improvise. If you are not able to, then you can definitely talk to us. We will help you in that, so that in the main examination, in September examination, you will be writing the required and relevant answer, and your marks will not be deducted and you will get good marks and you'll be successful, right? With this, I think time is indicating us to wind up. But of course, in the next session, we will be again interacting with you. We'll come with 2 or 3 MCQs also. At the end of the session, we will definitely ask you 3-4 questions to test your knowledge, that how you are able to understand, right? So with this, I think, thank you, Ashish sir. Thank you very much
Thank you,
for
ma'am.
making them understand, and writing tips also you are sharing, that how they should read the question in the examination, how they should analyze and write the answer. And students, your feedback is very, very important. If you want us to improvise on any of the aspect, you can definitely reach out to us. One more important thing, that I hope you all have downloaded BOS mobile app. If it's not, then please download, because on BOS mobile app, you will be getting all the resources like study material, revisionary test paper, mock test paper, and of course notes of these session also. Like questions you are practicing now are also uploaded on the BOS knowledge portal or BOS mobile app. So you can download it and you can enjoy the resources. With this, thank you each and every one of you. Thank you to technical team. Thank you to Ashish sir. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. And as students, I have told you, we'll be meeting day after tomorrow to discuss chapter 5, audit of items of financial statements. With this, a very
And
good
that is
night.
very, very important section also, and carrying
Yes, yes,
maximum weightage of the syllabi. So please
yes,
don't miss that session.
yes.
Yeah.
And with this, a very good night to all of you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you,
Yes,
students.
yes.
Yeah, Manish.